Welcome everybody. This episode of Love's Garage, we're going to check out what's inside this muffler on a factory replacement exhaust for a Nissan 240SX. As I said before, it's not the original equipment, it's just a replacement, which is why I don't feel so bad about tearing into it. It was destined for the dumpster, but here we are, just to look and see. So I've got the resonator open already. It was pretty straightforward, and after looking around a little bit, I don't know that I'm going to change anything with the resonator. From my understanding, the resonator's main purpose is to eliminate like annoying droning exhaust notes at highway speed, for example. And I really want to keep the drivability of this car high. I don't necessarily want to be burdened with an annoying exhaust note at a cruising speed. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. But I am curious to see if I can open up this exhaust a little bit and create a bit of volume out of the tailpipe simply by maybe altering the dynamics inside of this chamber. I'm assuming that there's going to be a glass pack in here, and whether that's gonna help the sound or hurt it, I guess depends on how the thing was engineered. But we don't really know what's going on in there until we take it apart. So let's get right to that. All right, so I'm assuming that there's going to be some factory baffling in here. You can kind of see that there's one right there, just with the way that the outer housing ribs a bit right there. So I'm guessing there's one right here, and I don't know, maybe another one right here. There's a bit of a dent and there's a pretty rigid edge right there, so I'm thinking there could be another one right there. Doesn't really mean anything. It just means that when I open this up, I want to make sure that I have access into potentially 3 isolated chambers here, so that if there's anything in there that I feel like changing, then I have access to them. So again, I don't want to make this hole super big, but I want to make it big enough that I can get in there and work around. So thinking like this. The main thing is I want anything that I've done here to be fairly out of sight. My Sharpie has had it. This one's not doing great either. I wonder if it's the cold. Either way, I've got a nice polished spot there. Yeah, so I mean, I mentioned earlier, I don't really know anything about the dynamics of how an exhaust works. I know that in newer vehicles, a fair bit of consideration goes into the overall end product, the note of the exhaust, and sound engineers are consulted to design and shape that final product that comes out of the tailpipe. But honestly, in 1992, I don't really know how much of that was going on with the 240SX, let alone a OEM replacement muffler. Like, this is probably a pretty generic design that likely doesn't sound like the actual factory exhaust. So I don't really know anything about this stuff. So if you have some sense of what I should be doing here, any suggestions about something that might improve the overall volume, I'm all ears. So go ahead and fire that at me if you've got a suggestion.
All right, cool. It's not what you think. I'm going to zip this off here just because I can't really, maybe I can bend it over, so I'll partially cut it.
All right, so this material is way thinner than the resonator, and in a way I guess that kind of makes sense, because the resonator is designed specifically to eliminate frequencies at certain well, I guess sounds at certain frequencies. And so it makes sense that you want the outer casing of that chamber to be rigid, so that you aren't you're not resonating the outer casing. But this is thin, and it's got sort of like I was expecting. It's got 3 chambers. Now this comes in here, and it ends right inside the middle chamber here. There's a small hole that allows some air to go into this, but this is a dead end. So it's just it's almost like a chamber that has no escape, and so some of the sound and pressure can go in there, but you know, it probably cancels itself out and quiets it quite a bit. There's no packing in here whatsoever. On this baffle, there's 2 holes. There's 2 holes that go from this chamber into this forward chamber, and that's ultimately where the tailpipes go through all 3, and the tailpipes are open-ended in here, so that most of the gas comes in here and then down through the 2 holes into this chamber, and then they find their way out of the tailpipe and go straight out the back. Whereas some of the gas that goes in here goes through this hole and into this chamber, but has nowhere to escape. So that's super cool. All right, so after getting this open and looking in it for a second or two, here you can see this hole that goes into this back chamber that's basically a dead end. This chamber doesn't go anywhere. The only pathway in and out of it is this single hole right here. And then from here, where the tailpipe comes into the muffler, there's a hole back there, and then there's another one that's just there, and so that allows gas, the exhaust gas, to flow into this chamber and then into this one, which ultimately is how it enters the 2 tailpipes that go the length of the exhaust and out the back. So in terms of changing the, you know, what this thing does, trying to make it louder, I don't know, like, you know, I've got a bit of an audio background, and I know that, you know, you can tune subwoofers and speakers by changing the volume of the box. And you know, if you're looking to tune something to lower frequency, generally you want a bigger enclosure. So you know, I don't really want like a high pitch noise, but I don't know, maybe that's how I'm going to add the volume here. I don't know, because you know, it's a 4-cylinder engine. It's not like it's going to sound like a V8 or anything, but maybe I could make this hole bigger. Maybe I could completely shut it off so that this chamber doesn't even exist. It would eliminate the notes, any frequency that this added to the overall sound. I don't know. I could try to make the holes bigger that go into this chamber. I could drill holes in these tailpipe pieces to allow gas to more directly, or the exhaust to more directly leave through those 2 tailpipes and out at the back, so there's less chambering that goes on to get the final note. I don't know. I mean, you know, when you get an exhaust leak and you hear that annoying like air chuffing noise, and you don't really hear exhaust, it's just like leaking air. I don't want that to happen. So I don't know what to do here. I'd love to know what you think. All right, there it is, tip to tail. We've got both the resonator and the muffler open. Where we go from here, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'd love to hear some feedback from other people that may have a better sense of what's going on here. Just some early thoughts. I think I'm going to leave the resonator alone for now, unless I hear some encouraging remarks that maybe there's something positive to be gained by altering this. The muffler at this point, again, I'm not totally sure, but I'm more leaning towards cutting some holes in the tailpipes to allow the exhaust gas to flow out a little faster without going through all the chambering that's involved there. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy. Peace.